Good evening. Let me start by saying how humbled and grateful I am to the voters in Monroe County, the Democrats who have placed their faith in me. I want to thank a few people. Certainly, I want to start with my family, my mom, my wife Mary Beth, my sons. Obviously, none of this happens without the support of your family, and I've had it unconditionally, and I could not be more grateful for that. I want to thank Robin Slaughter Minerva and her husband Michael and their daughter Ione, who have joined us here today. Obviously a bittersweet moment for them, but they have been incredible friends, as their mom and dad were to me over the years. I want to thank all the staff and the volunteers. We had an army of people on the streets over the last several weeks, and so many people at our phone banks. So it's hard to imagine how much goes into one of these campaigns, but I've just been incredibly heartened and grateful and humbled by so many people who came on board this campaign and have helped propel us to victory tonight. I do want to offer congratulations to the other candidates who are in this race on a hard-fought battle. They were all very, very passionate about this community and about this country, and I'm looking forward to having the chance to speak with each of them and asking for their support and to join and link arms with them as we move towards the November election. Tonight is the first step in a long battle to reclaim the soul of our country. This year's midterm election, I've told groups over and over again, is, in my opinion, the most important midterm election in our country's history. We have much work to do. We have issues that we have to confront in Washington and across this country, and the people in this community will expect that. I think voters tonight basically said in a resounding way that they think the experience that I have and the record of delivering results for this community is necessary to get things done in Washington. So the stakes are far too high to not have that. I'm gratified. I'm looking forward to the work ahead, and I want to thank you all for being here. Any questions?
You've won a lot of elections, Joe. How is this one different?
Well, this is different because in most elections you have a long time to sort of prepare and get your head around it. This was something that was obviously unexpected. It's not often you follow an icon and work to kind of preserve her legacy. But it's also important because I don't think I've been in an election where the stakes are as high as this one. I really think this country is at a crossroads. I think there are so many challenges facing this community and this country, and to be running an election that is that important is obviously very humbling, and I think that, in my mind, is the primary difference.
Joe, obviously there is still some work left to do, but does it mean anything more to you that you're able to win this primary following Louise Slaughter was a mentor to you?
Yeah, obviously I thought about that every day. In some ways, there are really three people I thought about every day in this campaign. One is my dad, who instilled, I think, incredible values along with my mom in me: hard work, do your job honorably. My daughter Lauren, who taught me to make sure that every day you live to the fullest and that you make sure you make a difference. And Louise Slaughter, who was a dear friend for so many years. So those three people I've thought about every step of the way, and I'm going to continue to think about them as we move towards the November election.
What do you think it was that resonated with voters?
I think this was, you know, in all the conversations I had, and we were at, you know, doorsteps after doorstep, everywhere I went, people talked about what they see as the great challenges that face this community and this nation, and I really felt they believed that having extensive experience working in the Monroe County Legislature and in the state legislature, serving as majority leader, I felt they think that it's time to solve problems, that we can argue all day about our differences, but what's more important are the things that we share in common, our desires to make sure our children have good schools and have a bright future, that there's health care for everyone, that our neighborhoods are safe. Those are the things I think people care about most, and if that means reaching across the aisle to work together with people who don't necessarily share all of the same views you do, then I think that is what people want, and that's what I'm going to continue to try to do, as I've done in my previous opportunities to serve.
How did this change things with this being the first primary you've ever run in?
You know, it's interesting. I am not entirely comfortable with it. I've been a Democrat my whole life, and you know, I much prefer to talk about what it means to win a seat for Democrats and to continue to work towards a majority in the House of Representatives. So this was unusual, but I'm really proud. We did not criticize the other candidates at any point in this campaign. That was something that we promised we would not do at the beginning, and we were faithful to that promise, and we just worked really hard. We went out and did all the things that we thought we had to do to communicate with people, to tell them what I thought I had to offer to the people in this community, in this country, and was willing to leave it in the voters' hands. They make good judgments. I have enormous faith in voters, and at least, in this case, I was pleased that they gave me the opportunity to move forward.
With voter turnout being, around 16, 18%, somewhere in that range, how important was it for you to get out there into the community and, meet individual voters to, introduce yourself if they weren't aware of who you were?
Yeah, I had, one advantage in that I've served in the state legislature, so I've represented significant parts of the city in Brighton and Irondequoit for some time now. But there's other parts of the community, you're right, that I have not served, did not know as well. But I was surprised, frankly, from the beginning how well I was received, how many people knew me outside the district that I've represented. But what I'm really happy about is the turnout tonight is very high. People were expecting, I think the Board of Elections had suggested that the turnout would be about 10 to 12%. I think it was significantly higher than that. Everywhere we went, we found significant interest in this. Obviously, people are still mourning Louise's loss, and so I think that generated interest, but obviously all the challenges in Washington generated a whole lot of interest as well.
What do you make of Dr. Maxwell as an opponent? Does your campaign change at all now moving toward the general?
No, my campaign doesn't change because the issues that we faced yesterday we'll face tomorrow. And I think what I bring to the race, whether it was the primary election or the general, will be the same, which is that extensive experience in problem solving. I was blessed to work on a whole host of important issues in my time in the state legislature, whether it was gun safety, health care, and job creation. I think those remain the important issues. So I think that applies whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent.
Is it easier now that you're not in the midst of legislative session?
Well, I will say having a day job was a challenge the last several weeks in trying to organize the legislature and my responsibilities. So this will certainly make that a lot easier. But what I believe and my team believes is we work hard every single day, and we're going to continue to work hard. We wouldn't take any election for granted. We didn't take this one for granted tonight, and we certainly won't take for granted the election in the fall. Great. Thank you all very much.
Sure, guys. Thanks for calling along. This is Will Cleveland again from